Welcome to Redbeard and the Den of Tools. Howdy ho, guys and gals, it's Red, your friendly neighborhood tool bear, back again here in the Den of Tools. And today we are covering, our monthly flyer from Harbor Freight. Yeah, here we have it. I was able to borrow it from a friend of mine here. Of course, Harbor Freight decided to take me off of their mailing list. Apparently, it's no bears allowed. But anyway, so what we got here is, of course, we got the 25% off coupon there in the upper right. It looks like it's slapped on, but in this case, it's actually printed on. Of course, that was one day only on Labor Day. So, sorry we missed it. I know we're a bit behind here, but, Labor Day and bears, I needed some time off. So, you know how it goes. Got to, grill up some picnic baskets, have a few beers with the bears, that sort of thing. Anyway, let's jump into it. First up, we got the electric pressure washer. This is the Portland model for $70.99. I have one of these. I unfortunately left it in Montana. I'm going to pick up another one here. I got to get you guys a video of it. But everyone who's used this, and myself included, for a home use, around the house pressure washer, electric pressure washer, this thing is just fine. It's great. It's got really nice tips on it. Basically, it's got all the functionality. The other one that I did a review on, the one off of Amazon, it's a great pressure washer. It's just a different form factor is all. All right, next to that, we've got the 3-ton low-profile steel floor jack for $99, which is, this is the new Series 2. Of course, it's in that lovely red color now, looking all shiny and whatnot. I got to say, I don't know. I took a look at it at the store. I got a video coming up on this and something else I found there at the store. But there's nothing about this that says that I should be paying $100 compared to the Series 1, which we often saw for as low as $80. So probably not the best deal. I don't know if they'll honor the coupons, the existing coupons that are out there for the Series 1 jack on the Series 2. Maybe talk to your local manager. Of course, be nice. More, flies with honey than with growling, menacing bears. Next to that, we got the 44-inch, 22-inch double bank extra deep cabinets for $439. These are great cabinets for a small shop cabinet, for professional use or for a DIYer. They're great cabinets. I can't say enough about the quality of the construction in the U.S. General stuff. There's just, people across YouTube and the internet talk about these things all the time. I think it's all been said before. The moving blankets, again, these are more like a scratch rather than dent prevention moving blankets. They do their job. You don't want to wrap up on a cold night with these things. You'll lose some skin. They're a little rough. Below that, we got the 5mm powder-free nitrile gloves. We use this all the time. In fact, my littlest bear, who has his own business, Super Scoopers, where he picks up dog droppings for usually for elderly neighbors in the area. And he uses these all the time for that. I use them around the shop. For $5, you get a nice large box of these things. They work just fine. Remember, though, they do come in sizes. They come from small, medium, large, and extra large. Now, I got big old bear paws, and even the extra large will fit me. You got to be a little careful putting them on. In fact, I've had to, in a pinch, use the small ones, and being careful, I was able to get them on and get them off without having too much of a fuss with them. All right, below that, we've got the Braun Light. Now, I want to talk about this real quick. It's listed at $25. It used to see it cheaper. We don't see it much cheaper these days, but we've had a few people say there's some flickering issues. If you have this light, I want you to post down below whether you have flickering or non-flickering issues with it, or any issues, I should say. Bottom left, we got the super coupon for it says heavy duty foldable aluminum sports chair. There's nothing heavy duty about this chair. I'm sorry. I love this style of chair. I have this chair. It is too small for me. Now I'm a big old, North American tool bear, but I have other ones like that I would consider to be quote unquote standard size. This chair is about 25% smaller than what I consider a standard size chair. Not a heavy duty chair, just a regular, folding chair of that form factor. Now, the fact that it's got a table, that's super nice. It's got little pockets on the side. That's great and all. So if you're a smaller bear or, maybe an elk or something, maybe it'll work for you. But for me, not so much. My kids love it. The wife likes it, in fact. But I think she just likes the table and she likes the little pockets because that's the kind of, bear she is. Anyway, We got the welder. We get the good versus the better. Remember, we're talking about good, better, best. That's the theme going forward with Harbor Freight is the good, better, best. They don't have the best here, which is the Vulcan, but the good is the Flux 125. The better is the Easy Flux 125. Price is $99 versus $179. I know I got a video I've been promising coming up on you. We've had a heat wave here. Just have not been wanting to play with fire, if you know what I mean, out there in the heat. So it's coming up shortly. But I got to tell you, that Flux 125, the titanium, that's gonna be a hot item. A hot item. Oh, I slay myself. Click type torque wrenches. These are great basic torque wrenches. I wouldn't do a performance engine or delicate electronics with them, but for basic stuff, they're good enough. Because remember, in most cases, you're not doing rocket science with this stuff. So for most of the things you would want to reach for your basic, smaller kind of torque wrench like this, they'll be fine. The auger, again, anything with a Predator name on it is excellent. I spoke with several people who have this auger, and they all swear by it. Bottom center, we got the Bauer, we got the drill driver and the impact driver, $60 each. Remember, these both come with a battery and with a charger. I wish they would come up with a kit. We put these two together, 2 batteries, 1 charger, and a bag. Harbor Freight, are you listening? Eric, you out there? We got it. People want the kits. And I know, you know the bear, I'm not a big fan of kits for the most part. But for the basic stuff, the drill driver kit, that's like peanut butter and jelly, man. You got to have them. It's like campers and picnic baskets. They taste great together. I mean, they're good separately, but you need them together, right? And, cause, I mean, otherwise you don't, it's all taste and no crunch. You got to have that texture, if you know what I mean. Anyway, and again, below that, or I should say in the lower right, we got the Predator generator, $359.99. These generators are awesome. Now, they're not the super quiet one. Those are the inverter generators, so don't confuse them. If you're looking for a quiet one, this is not the one. These aren't super loud. They're not, like stupidly loud, but they are good. Next up, we got a free coupon here for one of the little flashlights. These things are great. You should be picking one of these up about any time. The only thing I would pick up over one of these flashlights would be maybe the magnetic tray or the magnetic bar. I love these flashlights. I use them all over the place. I have one at, like every workstation in my shop. Have them in the cars. Just basically, we have a plethora of these things. Next to that, we got the 2-channel. What's a 4-channel? Comes with 2 cameras. Cobra surveillance system. Before I was kind of down on these, but then basically everyone else stopped selling them, and they got their price adjusted, so it's better than it was before. So at this point, I'm actually a big fan of these because I'm not a big fan of the camera systems where you have to pay a monthly subscription, and like that Google camera and whatnot, which is just, they started the whole thing. It's ridiculous. Get something like this, you'll be more than happy with it. All right, there we go. We got that Predator generator I was talking about for $689. These things are quiet compared to a standard generation generator. They're pretty darn quiet. On top of that, they will change the amount of input based on the draw that you use. So if you're not using it a whole bunch, it'll power itself down a little bit. Won't use up as much gas. Won't be as loud. All right, fans there, $9.99. Hey, these are decent fans, but you know what? We're getting on at the towards the end of summer here. Not sure if that's something everyone needs to pick up. We get a 20% off coupon there on the Avanti paint sprayers. I've heard from a few of you who picked them up. They said they were pretty good. I haven't used them. I did talk to the guy who did the design on them, and I have worked with paint sprayers in the past, mostly automotive style. But I did do some work with some paintless stuff. I actually have the Wagner version of the same paint sprayer. Everything about it seems like it's got a great design. It looks well made when I've handled it in the store. If that's something you look for, don't forget to use the coupon there. Okay, we're gonna jump around here in this catalog. We can't cover everything. There just isn't enough time. It'd be a 5-hour video, and nobody wants to listen to the bear talking for 5 hours. If you do have a bear speaking to you for longer than 5 hours, that may be abnormal, and you may want to seek a physician. All right, back to our show. We got the 15-inch tool bag for $6.99. Man, I cannot tell you how much I love these tool bags. I use them for tools. I use them for camera equipment. I use them for all sorts of stuff. Great for outings. I even throw some fishing gear and stuff in them. Mechanics gloves, I have the regular, like the ones that say mechanics on them and whatnot. Those are great. I tried these on. They fit pretty decently. As I said, I got some big old paws. They fit about as good as the mechanics. I haven't had a chance to try them out in a job, but they seem decent enough. I wouldn't be, afraid to give them a try. And at $5, it can't hurt, right? Lower left, we got the Earthquake 20-volt lithium half-inch impact wrench. Boy, let me tell you what. Here's who these Earthquake tools are designed for. They're targeting professional mechanics and kind of dipping their toes in what's called the prosumer market, which are the guys who want the professional level stuff but don't really want to pay full price like for a Snap-on or whatnot. Because you guys see that tool from Snap-on, that's a $700 tool. All right, and here you get something that performs in the same realm. And you know what? Yeah, I know there's a lot of snappy fanboys out there who don't want to hear the bear say it, but plenty of people out there in professional lines have used these things. They've had no problems with them. It's a good tool, and it's a $250 tool or $230 tool. And people say, well, there's a 90-day warranty. Well, buy the extended warranty then. Okay, you're still not going to pay $700 for the thing. Oh my gosh. All right, next to that, 2-ton folding shop crane for $189. You know what? I'm a big fan of these shop cranes, and because most people think of them as engine pickers and stuff, but you can use it. If you've got a shop, there's all sorts of stuff. You want to lift the top off of your table saw to do some maintenance, the shop crane's perfect for it. If you don't have a gantry in your shop, and seriously, who does? These things are great, but honestly, how many people need a 2-ton? If you don't need the 2-ton, look for the 1-ton. If you can't find it at a good price, which should be just over $100, right around $100, go on Craigslist, because there's always somebody who bought one for one job, did the job, and they're looking to sell it for around $100. So $100 is the go-to point for the 1-ton. The 2-ton, you got to really justify the reason why you need a 2-ton shop crane. Solar panel kit, it's a great intro into solar power. $155, that's a decent price on it. Go ahead and pick it up. Lower right, we got the Rapid Pump 4-ton Daytona jacks. These are great jacks, and I really like the new Daytona line. One thing I do want to throw out there as a caveat, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that these don't come with the 3-year warranty that the big boy yellow Daytona comes with. I think these come with the 90-day warranty, and you can upgrade it if you want. But maybe somebody who knows better than I can chime in down there. But they've been getting great reviews. Everyone who has them loves them. All right, next page. We got the message from Eric. I did a video on that yesterday. Go back and check that out. But boy, he laid the smackdown on Snappy there, didn't he? All right, we got the Bauer half-inch heavy-duty extreme torque wrench. Now this is a corded one. This is definitely aimed at the DIY or the home shop kind of guy. This is not something you're probably going to see in a pro shop. But if you are, a home gamer of sort, and you want to do some stuff around the shop, this is a great impact wrench for $195. That's a good pickup. Let's see here. The tilting flat panel TV mount, I've used those. $18. It's hard to beat that price when we can just walk out to a store and pick one up. The battery charger tender over there, those I've had iffy kind of luck with them. I've had them, they worked fine, and then suddenly they die on me. The newer ones, I don't know, are they under the Zurich name or the Viking? I think they're under the Viking name. I could be wrong. We'll probably see them later here in the catalog. Those things I've had great luck with. All right, we got below that 20% off any Bauer Pro Rotary demo or breaker hammer. This is, if you're looking for something to bust some stuff up, man, those things are great. I've played around with a few of them. I've enjoyed them. Lots of fun. All right, below that, we've got the 2 sliding compound miter saws. Again, we got the good and better. The best, of course, is the Hercules. I love my Hercules. Man, it's one of my favorite shop tools. But the price point on that is around $300. Of course, it comes with a great blade and a 1-year built-in warranty. I gotta say, Harbor Freight is basically putting their good quality tools out of business, because the better quality, like in this case the Admiral, really isn't that much more. And here we're close. We got $179 versus $150. So you're looking at a difference of $30 there. And now granted, you can get a better coupon out there for the Chicago Electric. Of course, I think you might be able to get a better one for the Admiral too. But the point is, you're going to be looking at nearly the same difference. And the Chicago Electric doesn't come with a blade. The Admiral does. The Admiral's got a better table. It's got a better fence. It's got a work light. The Chicago doesn't have, and it's got a better laser. It's got a better control mechanism for the tilting. Everything about it's better. And if you can't afford the difference, if you're just like super tight on money, you won't go wrong in buying the Chicago Electric. Here's what you do: if you have to buy the Chicago Electric, you buy, in fact, any of the saws. This actually applies to a lot of the tools from Harbor Freight. Buy the tool, go home, and do not sit on it for a month or two before you use it. Get that sucker home, bust it open, check it out, make sure it's square, it does everything it's supposed to. If it's not, take it back and get the next one on the shelf, okay? At most, you might have to do this 2 times. But the fact of the matter is, you're not going to come close to another sliding miter saw for $150. You're just not. There's no one else out there making a decent or even semi-decent sliding miter saw in that price range. It just doesn't happen. 4-drawer tech cart over there for $150. These are the ones that we should soon be seeing in all sorts of Skittle-like colors. All right, the 301-piece Master Mechanics tool set. I had a neighbor ask me about that last night. He heard from a buddy of his that it's a great set to pick up. And I told him, honestly, what I felt about sets, but the fact that if you're going to buy a set, if you're price conscious, it's a good starter set. And you know what my take on it is? If you're looking to get started, pick it up, and then as you need better tools, buy them along the way. And then this can become like a little bear set or a backup set, or the nosy neighbor who doesn't know how to have his own tool set. And if it doesn't come, you can use it as a loaner. If it doesn't come back, no sweat. Anyway, it's not bad to start with. You'll eventually outgrow it, but as I said, for the price, $169 with all the tools you get, it's a one and done kind of solution. Next to that, we got $10 off any pole saw or chainsaw. I was using my Bauer chainsaw just yesterday, trimming up some small trees around the property. Man, that thing is super handy. It's not a beast by any means. If it is, it's a tiny beast. It's a beastlet, let's say. And but you know what? Just being able to pop in a battery and go to town and get some work done super quick, it's real useful for that. Next to that, we got the welding storage cabinet. Now, this is the one I keep saying, if they get it to $100, it would be flying off the shelves. $140, that's pretty close to the lowest price I've seen on it. You're only going to get it, the best one for this, let's be honest, this is for a MIG machine. You're going to get your basic mid-level MIG welder, put it on there with a gas tank on the back. You got all your gadgets and stuff on, in the front drawer. So if that's what you do, if you got a shop where you got one MIG machine and you need to wheel it around and stuff, it's not a bad cart for that. It's not great. It's not fabulous. You won't be singing its praises, but it'll get the job done. Next page. Okay, we got the Pro Air impact wrenches. I have one of these. Man, I gotta tell you, they're nice. I gotta admit, the Bear's not super up on air tools. Like, I think that air tools, for the most part, their days are numbered. But if you're going air, you'd be hard pressed not to get one of these for your shop. Next to that, we've got the Good Better air compressor. I did a whole video on this. You can go back and look at it. Man, I'm sorry. I used to be a huge fan of that Central Pneumatics one. There's just no reason. The price difference between it and the McGraw is so close, and the McGraw is so much better. It's quieter. It has almost the same specs. The Chicago Electric does have slightly better specs, but they're not so much better that you can really do anything with it that you can't do with the McGraw. It's not like there's half a dozen tools that fit into that 10% performance range that all of a sudden you can't use. No, that's just not happening. So at that price difference, you're going to get a machine that is quieter, that's more stable, that's easier to use, that has better ergonomics, and just looks better. And you'll thank the Bear if you do this. All right, we got over there, we got the cement mixer. Again, I haven't had a chance to play with one. I keep wanting to find a project for that. Maybe next summer. I know the wife wants a deck on the house. I'm going to pave it. Don't tell her. Don't tell Mrs. Bear, but I'm going to pave that sucker over. Anyway, the point of the matter is that I know lots of people who have these or use them, and you know, at $174, I mean, what's the rental price on something like this? Anyway, they're just fine. If you got a big project, you know, if you got a small project, you can get away with, you know, a 5-gallon bucket, or, you know, mixing in a wheelbarrow or something. But if you've got a medium to large project around the house or the homestead, yeah, get one of those. We got $50 off coupon on the drain cleaner. That's a big old beast of a drain cleaner, man. That is not your average, hey, I got some hair in the pipes. That is, you want to be serious. Maybe you're a small-time professional plumber or something. That's a serious cleaner there. Next up, we got the trailer. Man, I have seen so many projects. I should do a video just compiling all the projects I've seen done with these, I almost call it Chicago like Hallmaster trailers. Man, the fireworks stand up in Livingston uses one to haul a missile around on. they use it as a billboard advertising kind of thing. All right, 250 lumens pop-up light. Yeah, don't look at that thing. It is every bit of 250 lumens. That thing is super bright. Let's jump around. What was the thing? The tailgate or whatever, that generator there for $109. Oh man, the thing is stupid loud, and it's going to break down on you. These are junk generators. I know you may have picked up one. It may have lasted great. That's fabulous for you. I've heard so many horror stories about this. The 6-ton heavy-duty steel jack stands. I have the 3-ton, and I'll be honest, I wasn't even aware they had a 6-ton. But I've got the 3-ton jack stands, and they work just fine. They work as good as any jack stand I've seen out there. And, you know, be smart, be safe, use a jack stand. And for $35, yeah, it's a lot cheaper than the dental work or the funeral you'll need if you don't use them. Auto darkening helmet. Here's what I talked about before. If you saw one of my last videos, I talked about the Vulcan helmet. I have the Vulcan helmet. It's sweet. It's fabulous. But not everyone wants to spend that kind of money. This is a decent helmet. I know a lot of guys who use this. $42.99. I'm pretty sure, actually, I think there's a coupon out there that takes that down into the 30s. I could be wrong, but I was fairly certain of it. See your next item here, lower left. The foldable Sawhorses. I got to tell you, not a fan of these Sawhorses. I have a set. I use them as a secondary, like, outrigger kind of thing, or maybe you put things on for drying or something. They're not stable. I mean, like, they're emotionally insecure, unstable, like that crazy ex-girlfriend kind of unstable. You want to stay far away from these, like with power tools and such. All right, we got some chain. Some people pointed out that I was skipping the chain. I mean, it's not an exciting kind of thing, but you know what? The chain, that's a good price. $20 for, you know, what was it? 14 feet of, you know, decent grade chain. We got a coupon there for the log splitter. That's kind of cool. I like the way they're mixing up the coupons here in this catalog. A little bit here, a little bit there. Hey, down there in the lower right, check that out. We got, not just one, not two, but now 3 colors in those magnetic power strips for the toolboxes. We got black, blue, and red. Where are you going, Mrs. Bear?
I'm making sure the children aren't loud when they come in.
Oh, that's nice. Mrs. Bear just went streaking. Hold on, Labradog. Chill out. She's getting all gruff. She wants to make you think she's all big and vicious, but as soon as somebody would actually walk in, she'd come run and hide behind me. She's like, "You get him, Dad. I got your back, or not." Anyway, as I said, we got 3 power strips. Maybe there'll be more colors. I think it's awesome we got those 3 because let's face it, black goes with everything, right? For $25. Wish the price was a little cheaper. I'd like to see it under $20, guys. All right, we got the next page. We've got the Yukon, $229. Best price on that I've seen is $200. But if you need one now, I would get it. $230. It's a decent price. I've had this cabinet for a couple years now. It's gone through all sorts of things. I've hauled it up to, you know, Livingston and back. In fact, I'm going to have to do a video on it. We got caught in a microburst. And if you guys remember, I had a pegboard stand attached to the back of it via riv nuts, and it ripped it off. Just clean off. And well, actually, it wasn't quite clean, but I'll show you the damage it did and whatnot, which wasn't honestly all that much. So anyway, I'm going to show you, what it can stand up to. So we'll do a follow-up on that. The short of it is, it's bear approved. Next to that, we got the OmniPro 220 Industrial Multi-Process Welder. That's your, this thing does it all. Everything you're going to need, one and done. Prosumer, high-level prosumer to pro-level welder. There's lots of guys, lots of serious welders who have these Vulcans and love them. They can't talk enough about how much they like these things, especially for that price. Next to that, we got $10 or 10% off any gas engine. There you go. Now, here's the question. Will that apply to anything else that has Predator on it? I wonder if that will apply to the auger or maybe even the backhoe. Have to find out. Portland, we got the blower and mulcher, right? That's a combo thing there. And, yeah. And $40. Now, remember, these are corded. But if you got a small yard or don't mind dragging the cord around, not a bad deal there. The LED shop light, $22.99. Usually there's a coupon floating around for $19.99 on that, but it's a great shop light. I love it. You can't daisy chain it like you can with the ones from Costco or whatever, but if that's not a big issue for you, feel free to pick it up. The retractable hose reel, $54.97. Talked about that the other day. Man, I love these hose reels. You should have, if you got a shop, you should have a hose reel for your air hose. You should have a hose reel for your power. That's it. You should have it. It's just a no-brainer. And you should have it near the front. If you have a garage shop at home, have it near the front of the shop, near the garage door. That way you can use it in the shop, and you can also drag it out to use it on the cars or kids' inflatables and stuff like that. All right, 25% off any Apache case. I checked recently, and no, my drone, I have a Phantom 4, will not fit in one of these. It will fit in, but there's not going to be any foam left to really cushion it, and that kind of defeats the purpose. The Bauer impactor, this is the 20-volt lithium. Basically, this is the prosumer version of the Earthquake that we saw earlier. I have this. $100. Can't say enough about it. It's 450 foot-pounds of torque. Impacts. It's great. I know I owe everyone a video on that one. Okay, we got the 1500 watt continuous inverter, 3000 watt peak. Now, watt peak is when you turn something on, like if you turn on AC and it's going to spike, and then it's going to calm down and run lower. So really, you want to look at the continuous watt. That's really how much power you can expect to get out of it, but it will take bursts up to 3000 watts. I don't have one, but we got a couple guys on the channel who are van life types, living the mobile life, and they swear by them. They say they're fabulous. All right, the 130-piece toolkit. Now, I suggested that perhaps an option for this would be as a truck toolkit. Some guys chimed in and said it's not even good enough for that. So, again, the Bears. I was trying to be open to kits. Of course, look what it gets me. Daytona 5,200-pound ultra-mobile self-loading vehicle dolly. I've only looked at these in stores, don't know anything about them. If you've used them, please chime in down below. Let the Bear know what you think so we can pass it along. Remember, guys and gals, there's only so much the Bear can test personally. And to be honest, I would much rather be passing along information from, say, a couple hundred or a couple thousand of you than just one Bear's opinion. It's all about data sets, man. All right, there we go. We've got one of those chargers. We got the 4 amp, 6.5 volt high frequency charger maintainer, and I believe that says Viking. I don't know. The Bear doesn't have his glasses on. For $25. These things are great. I really like this new brand they've come out with. All right. Lower right, we got those lights. Great mood lighting. Not enough I would say, to read by, but good mood lighting for the deck or whatnot. All right, next page. we've got the new Bauer tools, hot new deals. Come in now to see our hot new tools. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to invite us like that. So what we got in the top there, we've got the cordless vac for $40. We got the blower for $45, the radio for $35. We're just talking about it in the live stream the other night. The inflator for $45 and the sander for $29.99. Of these, I have everything but the sander. And here's what I'm going to say. None of these are just absolutely knockdown fabulous. Like, these are premier products. These are all accessory add-ons. You know, the drill driver, the recip saw, the circ, those are all your bread and butter with power tool line. These are the ones where they're like you already have the batteries and you want something you can use the batteries on. Here's some stuff. I think the batteries the radio is quite decent. The construction quality is okay. It's nothing to write home about. But it's the sound. I mean, it's kind of a tiny speaker. I was really surprised how decent the sound was. I think this would be great as a small job site kind of radio or around the shop kind of radio. The Bluetooth on it's really good. The battery lasts friggin' forever. And the range on the Bluetooth is exceptional. I was really surprised what kind of range you'd get. I got a video on that one coming up. The vacuum, we talked about that. I think I did a video on that one. It's nothing to write home. It's a dust buster, but it busts dust just fine. The wife uses it. It's got a little extension. It kind of turns it into the equivalent of one of those little Dirt Devil cordless vacs for around the house, and she uses it all the time to clean up after the dog. We got, the Labrador. She likes to shed. Oh my gosh, she likes to shed. And between major vacuumings, just kind of tidying up the house and or the shop, it's for $40, it's a darn good little vacuum cleaner. The blower, I used the blower for the first time last night, and I was surprised that a tiny blower like that could put out that much air volume. I remember I said I used the chainsaw. Well, I used the blower to clean up after the chainsaw. I had leaves and small sticks everywhere. I've been going at some shrubbery with it. Not really the chainsaw's best application, but it was the first tool I could grab, and I just wanted to knock it out real quick. And the blower did a fine job of cleaning up. I was surprised. It's not like a super duper like put a cape on it kind of blower, but it was nice to have, and I already have the batteries. I can slap them on there. I liked it. It'd be great for people use their air compressor a lot for stuff like this, and for like blowing sawdust out of tools and stuff like that. But it's so much easier, faster, and convenient to grab something like this in the shop than to pull out the hose for the air compressor and set it up and use that. The inflator's decent. It's again nothing to write home about, but it'll inflate. It does high pressure. It does low pressure. It's got a light on it. It's really, I like that you can set the pressure. You just set it right in, and as Ronco says, set it and forget it. Right. The sander, as again, I don't have the sander, but the Bears' view on sanders. It's a sander. I mean, what do you want it to do? Make you eggs? All right. Moving on. We got the grinder down there, $29.99. This is the what do you call it? The corded grinder. And I've not used it, but I've heard several people use it and they like it. Next to that, we got the Hallmaster, and then we got the Costco. Now, the Costco, that's kind of a stunner because that's actually a name brand. That's like not a Harbor Freight version. I'm stunned to see that in stores. $100. That's a great little, what do you call it, hand truck there. And I guess, as I keep saying, work smart, not hard, guys. You need to have a hand truck in your shop. You just have to. Okay, below that, we got the Fortress air compressor, the big one, 27-gallon for $400. It's I don't know. It seems like a decent compressor. I have not had a chance to use it myself. I've looked it over. I've used some of the other Fortress compressors, and I love them. But I'm getting to this point where it's like for a small shop, because this is not a big shop kind of air compressor. For a small shop, do you really need a compressor that big? We need to have a whole conversation on that, because I'm not sure that the average bear, even prosumer, needs a compressor that size. It seems like a fabulous compressor. And if you do need one, I'd take a look at it. But I'd also take a look at the Cobalt. Maybe when I get my hands on one of these at some point, I may change my mind. But right now, that's where I'm at on it. Now, however, the one next to it, this 5-gallon, if you're a pro and you need to run at least 2 nailers at a time, or I guess you run 1 nailer, there's no law saying you have to, but that's a pro level solution that runs at a reasonable decibel. It's oil free and it's designed to run continuously. That's it. If you're running framing nailers, flooring nailers, that kind of the big boys, that's the compressor you want right there. Lower right, man, that Franklin job site clamping workstation, $120. You know what? That 25% off coupon or any of the 20% coupons on there, they should work on that. They have not expressly put Franklin on them. Let me take a look at the one up front, see if it's on there. Oh, wait, I don't have my magnifying glass. They need to just put a big asterisk and then link you to a website so you can have the latest things that are excluded. I get it. I understand why they do it, but it's at this point, it's unusable. There's so many items on there. Nobody can read it. I mean, and I've actually gone to look at some of these coupons with a magnifying glass, and I still can't read it. It's because the print's so small that the paper soaks it up and it's become illegible. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, I've had the Rockwell for a year or so. I thought the Rockwell was great. This one's better and it's cheaper. That's all you have to know about it. It works just as good, and it's cheaper, and it's got some functions that are actually better than the Rockwell. There you go. All right. Next up, we got the Hercules $85 recip saw. $85. Remember when everyone's like, that's $100, $120. Oh my gosh, it's too expensive. Oh my gosh, so much whining. So much whining. Well, here you go, guys and gals. $85 for now granted, it is brushed, but I saw no problem with it. You know, people keep wanting to say, well, it's not brushless, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, you might get a little bit of extra battery life out of it, but you're also saving money by going with the brushed, and the brush is going to be more robust in the long run. So people think that brushless is just this miracle or something, and it just isn't. All right, next to that, we've got the Hercules blower, which looks a lot like the Bauer blower, which looks a lot like every other blower on the market. Let's be honest, these compact job site blowers, I'm pretty sure they come out of 1 or 2 factories in China. I literally would not be surprised if one company makes all of them. So what you get here is you get essentially the same thing as the Bauer, it looks like, with a few extra accessories, and it works with your Hercules batteries rather than with your Bauer batteries. $55. I haven't gotten to use one yet. Hoping to get to use one soon. We'll see. Going down here, we got the super coupon for the Vulcan 350-pound capacity welding cart. Hey, that's a nice cart. It really is. I've taken a look at it. If I love the handles on it, it's one of the things like this is seriously designed to be used in a working shop. You can grab it, drag it around, beat on it. It should be fine. You can also mod it. You can set it up however you like. It's real versatile. $89, $90, not a bad price on something like that. We got the magnetic socket rails over to the right for $13.99. Those are a good buy. The tool creeper, if you're under there creeping, creepers be creeping under your car and whatnot. If you're over there and you got tools to go with you, this is a great little, tool add-on to slide along with you, so you don't have to keep reaching over in here like, where did my wrench go? Where did my socket run off to? There it is. Okay, below that and to the left, we got the Quinn set for $40. Man, if you like that Pittsburgh ratchet set, this is the Quinn set. I don't think it's a complete no skip, but it's pretty close. It hits all the important ones, that's for sure. So that's a definitely pickup if you're looking for something good. $40. Oh my gosh. We got the new fire rated safe there for $45. We got the Warrior. Again, it's $50. It's not the top of the line one. This is a cheap little budget one, but it's for smaller saws, 10-inch and smaller. I think its sweet spot is really for like a 7.5-inch saw. We got the little wagon down there for $100. It doesn't seem like a bad wagon. I looked at it in stores, but my gosh, you can pick up nice ones. My family's had 3 or 4 of them, and I think we end up like loaning them to people and they never come back, or I think the wife ran over one. Don't let her know I told you. Anyway, it wasn't me, I swear. And My gosh. Anyway, $100 seems a bit pricey on one of these wagons. They're all over the, you can buy them at Dick's, Costco, Kmart. I think you can buy them at 7-Eleven these days. I don't know. But the point is that there's a lot of options out there, and $100, I don't see anything on this that says, ooh, that should be $100. I know we paid like $70 for the one we have, and it's got a flip out table and cup holders, and I think it makes you breakfast. It's just a better option. All right, next page. Jacks, she's got the jack. We got the new, pretty red. This is the Series 2 Pittsburgh jacks. I was at a store here in Vegas today, and I went in, not my usual store, this is like the downtown store, and I asked some poor guy, I think he's new there, if he could give me the difference. I realize it's Series 2, and I realize this one's red, the other one's not red, but what's the real difference that makes it a Series 2 over Series 1? And his response was, yeah, it was about like that. And, that's what I get, right? So it's I don't know. We're still waiting to find out what the real difference is, but the point of the matter is that they're upgrading something. Hopefully they've changed some good things rather than just painting it red. Unless red's your favorite color. There we got jack stands. Apparently it goes up to, what is that? Is that 10 ton, 12 ton? Man, I should probably wear my glasses. I don't even know where my glasses are. 12 ton, I think. So they got all sorts of jack stands starting at $24. Get them while they're hot. And we got all sorts of jacks under that. I got to tell you, I've yet to find a Harbor Freight jack that I'm not happy with, except for perhaps that little trolley jack one. The aluminum, the blue ones, the aluminum racing jacks, if you get a lighter vehicle and you really want that kind of look and shape and feel, or something that isn't going to pull, slip a disc on you trying to lift it, those are the ones you want to get. I so wish they had included a handle like they have on the aluminum ones for the regular Pittsburgh jacks, because they do weigh a ton. Now, I get that they're trying to say that, well, you probably shouldn't be picking them up and stuff. But for a lot of guys working out of a home shop and stuff like that, sometimes you do got to pick them up. Sometimes you take them with me. I maybe going to go help out a friend or something. Picking those things up, that hurts. The next page, we've got the Daytona. This is the yellow one I was talking about, the whole video we did yesterday on it. This is the one that comes with a 3-year warranty. I had people I'd snap on it like, well, it only comes with a 90-day warranty. I'm like, well, you only just told us all you're a moron, because it doesn't. It comes with a 3-year warranty. But, what I found is fanboys, they'll make up anything as long as, they don't care about facts. They're like, they're, as far as they're concerned, feelings don't care about your facts. Freaking morons. I had somebody call me a traitor because I was suggesting that people buy the Harbor Freight jack made in China rather than the Snap-on jack that's made in the same factory in China, because buying that Chinese-made jack would not make you a traitor. I don't get their logic. I don't think they get logic as a general concept. Anyway, moving on. Enough ragging on them. And we got the 3-ton, the 4-ton tricolors below that. Again, we've got the car dollies down there with the storage rack, which is kind of a neat little feature. Again, I don't really know much about the dollies. If you know much about them, let us know. Moving along here. And we've got and yeah, I know we're jumping around a bit, but as I said, there's only so much we can cover here. The grease guns. All right. I have not tried the Holt grease guns. If you've tried the Holt ones, let me know. I've tried the basic grease gun, and I got to tell you, it's probably my least favorite tool from Harbor Freight. That thing just exploded grease everywhere. Oh, I was not a happy bear. And in the upper left, what do we got? Yep, we got ye old WD-40 for $3.69. Again, my favorite use for WD-40 is really as a solvent/cleaner. Not great as a lubricant. There's better lubricants for pretty much any job out there. That's the way you want to go with those. On the next page over, we've got some more specialty tool kits. We've got 12-piece pulley remover and installer sets. I'll be honest, I've not heard great things about them. And, that's one of the few areas where, you know what, you may want to go with one of the bigger, more well-known name brands. But hey, maybe they got some, maybe they've updated them since then. I don't know. You let me know. All right, next up, we've got the Ames multimeters. I got to tell you, so I've got the big boy there. Which one is the clamping multimeter for $99.99, and I love that thing. I'd never used a clamping multimeter before this, and I don't think I'll go back. It does pretty much all the same functions you'd want in a regular multimeter. Plus, you can just walk up and test any of the line power, surge power, all that kind of stuff. These things are great. Now, I will point out they're CE rated. They're not UL rated. So if you're on a job site that requires UL rated, that's not going to work for you. However, everyone I know who's used these has said that they have excellent, components in them, that they work great and whatnot. So, below that, we've got the scopes. That's the kind of thing where, if you're using it in a shop and you're a pro and you want just something to pick up and go, that's great. If you're a DIYer, I highly recommend you get one of the cheap $20 ones off of Amazon or eBay or something. They just connect to your cell phone or they Bluetooth to your cell phone, and they get you a similar picture, but they're not as rugged and, but they're not nearly the price either. Next up, we've got Cover Pro covers. Again, the one on the far right, the slant leg, $55. I'm sorry, but that's a pass. Hard pass on that. You can get better pop-ups like that. Straight leg ones for the same price elsewhere. In fact, a lot of these they're not bad prices. They're not bad. I'm not saying they're bad quality, but there are better products out there for similar prices. Let's go on down here. The magnetic tray down there. I love those magnetic trays. Yeah, they're free a lot of times, but if you need to pick one up for $3, that's not a bad deal. They got the nice bigger one there for $10. The red rags at the bottom. Not a fan of them. They leave little red, fluff all over the place. Some guys like them. That's maybe a preference thing. Maybe they're into fluff. I don't know. If you're pro fluff, let me know. Comment down below. Hey, I like my fluff. As someone who's a little fluffy himself, I guess I shouldn't be throwing stones. Next up, Hallmaster. Man, we got all sorts of stuff. They're getting all into the little detail stuff. How do I say this? There are some not bad choices for the ratchet straps and stuff at Harbor Freight. But I'll be honest, I prefer to go to someplace and get something a little bit heftier, a little bit more robust, that has a little better ergonomics. I have not found any at Harbor Freight that I'm just like, yeah, these are the ones, I really like them. Usually I ended up going to like Tractor Supply. The bungees, they got some decent bungees. They're not terrible. I do like to use the all rubber bungees. I'm not a big fan of like the elastic corded bungees. I think the rubber ones hold up better. They stretch further. They're easier to use. Let's see what else we got here. And here we got some more of the trailers. $350. The Super Duty folding one for $450. Again, this is the kind of thing where you're going to have to build it out, or you can build it out the way you like. That's the nice thing about it. One cool thing is they've really updated the lights, the add-on trailer lights below that. They're not fabulous. They're not like super high end, but they're at least decent quality on par with the ones I've been getting other places. And then there's also, check out that coupon over there, $20 off any trailer tongue box. Let's see what else we got. We got the chalk. People always ask me about the chalk. I have several of them. I use them all the time. I think they're great. Some of them said that they're not big enough. I would ask, what are you trying to chalk with it? Because I've used it on my pickup truck. I've used it on trailers. I've used it on an RV. So, I mean, it's not the only one I relied on, but I did use it as part of the system for stabilizing the RV, and it works great. And down below that, we've got the Syntec chargers. Again, I've had mixed result with the Syntec stuff. but I really liked the Viking stuff. Or is it Viking? Viking. I can't read it. Anyway, you let me know what you think. Maybe if you guys have been using the Syntec stuff and you liked it, great. I have not used that big portable one, the one for 150 on the far left, but I've used a lot of the other stuff. And again, so results with it. Next up, we got some more Hall. Wow, I got a lot of Hallmaster here. They're really up in their game when it comes to the towing stuff. We got the 500-pound capacity steel cargo carrier for $60. That's not a bad little carrier. I took a look at it. I was looking at getting one, but I think if I go, I'm going to get the flip-up one. You got to really think about what it's like to drive with one of those behind your vehicle. And I like the flip-up because then when I'm not using it, if I can't store it right away, it'll then fold up. We got the Hallmaster roof-mounted cargo carrier box, they call it. $90. I've got the Reese version. I know I picked it up cheap at Walmart on closeout, but I gotta say, I think there's other ones out there cheaper than that. Maybe there's a coupon out there that gets that one down to a reasonable price. Should be around $70 if you ask me. And I don't know. Here's a question: has anybody used that hitch stabilizer? I was looking at hitch stabilizers, towing stabilizers the other day. Actually, I've been looking at it for some time. Let me know what you think if you've used the Harbor Freight stabilizer, how it compares to some of the other ones out there. And don't forget, we got a 25% off any drop ball mount hitch. Now, that's a nice deal there. I'm not a big fan of the multi hitches there, but it has like the 3 balls or whatever on it. But the other ones there, as I said, the drop ball hitches, those have been just fine. Next up, we're going to the Badlands. The Badland winches. These things are fabulous. I know tons of guys. I know people who use these professionally. I know a lot of guys who have them on ATVs, on trailers and whatnot. As someone pointed out, the only downside compared to one of the Warren is that they're a bit slower, but they're also a good bit cheaper, much of you see at Harbor Freight. The Road Shock lights, I still have not gotten a chance to try those out. If any of you have tried them out, let me know. They look good. I've taken apart a lot of off-road lights, and I've played around with a lot of them. And I gotta say, based on just looks and construction, they look like they're a step above like the stuff you'd pick up off of Amazon or eBay or something. Anyway, let me know what your experience with them has been. All right, next page, we've got, again, this is the earthquake stuff we were talking about before. They've got the 3/8, the 1/2 inch, and the 3/4 inch extreme torque impact kit. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they always have the 3/4 inch? Maybe I wasn't looking at it. I'll be honest, I haven't been looking hard at the earthquake stuff because, I'm not a professional mechanic and I've been fine with the stuff I've been using from Bauer. That's interesting to me. Let me know. I don't know. Is that a new item? Below that, we've got the 20-volt cordless brushless. Somebody the other day was saying that Harbor Freight doesn't sell any brushless tools. I'm looking at a brushless one right there, and I know that one's been out for a while. And that's that brushless angle grinder there. Then below that, we've got the 2 earthquake 12-volt tools. And I got to say, I'm real disappointed in Harbor Freight with the 12-volt tool systems. The Hercules 12-volt, the Earthquake 12-volt, all the 12 volts. It's not that the tools aren't good. It's that there's just not enough of them. Here you've got literally 2 tools. You buy into the Earthquake 12-volt platform, you can use it on 2 whole tools. A 3/8 cordless ratchet and a polisher. Now, don't get me wrong, that polisher is awesome. That's a great little polisher. It'll spin the dickens out of anything. And, if you're like, redoing headlights and stuff like that, I could see this thing being a real, must-have, go-to kind of tool. But that said, if I'm buying a battery system, I want more than 2 tools. And the Hercules has got 3 tools. Merge these things or something. My gosh. And next up, we get the new Earthquake hose reel. A 3/8 inch, 50-foot, industrial grade, retractable air hose for $200. I got to tell you, I've been real impressed with the grade of the hoses. Now, I think this is replacing the Diablo, the upper end of the Diablo stuff. In fact, you'll see that the Diablo hose reel is being closed out. Now the Diablo was like in a plastic case. It definitely was not a shop grade kind of tool. Now they do make some great Diablo stuff. I have some Diablo hoses myself. I love them. Now whether you need something this, at this robust a level, I don't know. This is, I think, real high-end prosumer, low-level pro shop, maybe mid-grade pro shop kind of tool. Below that, we've got the Earthquake air impact wrenches. I can't say enough about them. I know tons of guys who use these things professionally. I love mine. I don't probably use it enough, but it is it's never let me down. And the nice thing about the air tools is, drop of oil in them, and they just, they run all day. Next page, we got the Baxter, the Central Pneumatic, the Chief. This is, their new lines, the Chief and the Baxter, their new line of air tools. We got the straight line sander. We got the random orbital for the Baxter. They have the new Holt over there. That's the air-powered grease gun. I'd like to give that a try. I'd like to see them come out with a cordless grease gun. I really would. The Chief stuff, I've talked to a few people who use it. They really like it. Again, this is the kind of area where air tools are going to last longer in the shop than they are with other stuff. Impact wrenches and stuff like that, I think they're just going to go away. It's too easy and too cheap to do with battery these days. But with the body shop kind of stuff, that's still an area where you have this long continuous run kind of stuff where hooking up to a big industrial air compressor is really the go-to kind of way. And these seem to be a good way of doing it. On the next page there, we've got the Central versus Diablo versus Earthquake. This is what I was talking about before. The Diablo is now being the better. The Central is, of course, the good, and the Earthquake is the best. If you're a home gamer, you'll be just fine with the Central Pneumatic. But I got to tell you, once you've used that Diablo hose, it's real hard to go back to. And again, you're looking at, it's not that much of a price difference to go from the good to the better. From the better to the best, it's a bigger jump, and you really need to be able to justify that price. But if you're, a home gamer or prosumer level and you want a little bit extra, man, you'll like stepping up to those Diablo hoses. They don't kink the way those cheap PVC air hoses do. Oh, and one other thing I want to talk about here. We talked about some stuff, people say I don't talk about enough of the bad stuff with Harbor Freight. Well, here's one thing I'll say. Man, the old air connectors and stuff and the gauges and all that stuff, those things were just so bad. I just figured everyone knew about it. I never would buy them, never use them. The new Merlin stuff, I've tried quite a few things from the Merlin, and I've been pleased as punch with them. I think they're fantastic, and the price isn't too bad. I got some of the high flow adapters on it. I got the tire inflator and whatnot. I've been super happy with the Merlin stuff. The old Central Pneumatic connectors, yeah, those are a hard pass. Next item. Good, better, best again. Can you notice the Goldilocksing going on here? Just, maybe go check, see if your porridge has been eaten. With these nailers, the Central Pneumatics, they've been great. I really like them. Honestly, I have one of the Pierce nailers too. I have not seen anything that makes me go, I got to jump up to the Pierce nailers. But I'm not a professional carpenter anymore. All right, I started off as a carpenter way back in the day, but that's not what I do anymore. And for the average home gamer, I would say the Central Pneumatic or the Banks is going to be good enough. The one thing is, I like that 2-in-1 nailer that the Central Pneumatics has, but it does kind of mar the surface. So if you're doing something where, hey, you're going to put some paint on it, or it's going to be a not seen kind of spot, it's not really an issue. If you are going to be using something where you are going to see it, I'll say that Pierce nailer that I have the pin nailer for that one. Man, it sinks it clean and done, and no marks on it. It's great to use. The next page, that's a sight to give any man over 40 a complex, isn't it? I kid, the Bear kids. Anyway, we talked about the gloves before, saving up to 20%. Best gloves, bottom line, that's what they say. I gotta say, I've liked the rubber gloves, the nitrile, I guess. I've used those. I haven't used any of the other gloves. I guess, actually, I take that back. No, in fact, it wasn't even those. I haven't used them. But I've tried them and played with them in the store. They seem fine. But again, what do you guys have to say about it? Can you add in some data here for the Bear? Maybe we can find out some more about these. All right, next up, we've got the compressors. I just got to say, the red compressors these days, unless you're on a budget, unless you're on a hard budget, avoid the red compressors, man. They just don't last. They're loud as all heck. You need to wear earring protection when you're around them. They're a hard pass. They really are. Now the new paint guns there. I've used the central pneumatic paint guns before. They're decent. They'll get a job done. You're not gonna get a great finish at them. The Spectrum, I've not used them, but I've taken a look at them. I haven't seen or actually, I guess I did actually see the new Black Widow just the other day. They look fabulous. I've heard some guys have commented who've used them who liked them. I heard some guys who say they're in the industry and that they're not happy with them because they're not, you can get a better gun for, the same money. I always like that saying of I can get a better gun or a better tool than the Harbor Freight tool for the same money, but I've never tried the Harbor Freight tool and I don't know anything about it. People just like to, justify the purchases they've made in the past, and they don't, they're scared of what's new. Now, I'll be honest, the fact of the matter is, I think that they should be coming in well under the established brands to justify that cost, but hey, that's just me. All right, we're going to skip forward here a bit. We're going to the U.S. General stuff, and I got to say, I love them showing the full setup here you can do with the U.S. General. The one thing I still want to see them do is we need to see a hutch for these. We really do. I know we're going to get one in the Icon line. And no, the Icon will not work with the U.S. General. The U.S. General is 22-inch deep. The Icon's 24-inch deep. It's not going to be compatible. Harbor Freight, come on, guys. We need to see a top box for the 72, and we need to see a hutch. All right, below that, we see the new white tool cart there. That's all shiny. I've seen them in person a couple times. I really like them. They're not nearly as obnoxious as I thought they were going to be. Some of the newer colors, they came across a little overly bright for the Bear. But I got to say, in these, I really like them. And then down below, we see they got the new accessories. A lot of these in fact, I think most of these come in all colors except for the white. We got the magnetic towel holder there for $11.99. I've got that. That's been, I would say indispensable, but it's pretty good at dispensing, right? I know, Bear humor, right? Magnetic tool tray, the spray can holder, all of that. And, of course, we have the rest of the U.S. General line. We got the 44-inch, the 56-inch, the Series 2 end cabinets, the lockers. Man, this is such a great lineup, and the U.S. General stuff that is made so well. And again, down the bottom left, we got 3 of the colors of the power strips in the 3 basic colors. No word if we're going to get the yellow, the orange, and the green. I honestly would be surprised if they did, because the black kind of fills in and can work with any of them. But that said, who knows? Maybe it'll come about. I still, at the end of the day, the big takeaway is that Harbor Freight needs to update their design a bit. The top boxes on these, they're outdated. That's a lot of really, really shallow drawers. And I think what guys really want to see is a little bit more of a mix, and maybe some of those mini hutches in there with a bigger usable space, so that we can set up power tools, let them charge, lock it up at the end of the day, and not worry about tools wandering off. Well, anyway, that's the end of it. That's all the Bear has for you today. I know the Bear skipped a lot. It was a bigger catalog than normal, and they also had a lot of the inside track stuff. Some people have already done videos on the inside track stuff, and I don't tend to cover all the inside track coupons. There's just not enough time in the month. We'd be doing videos like this all month long. But if there's stuff you want the Bear to cover next month, hey, make sure you comment down below. I'll try to add it in. We just try to hit all the high points here and give you guys a basic overview of what's good, what to avoid, and what's a good deal this month. Anyway, as always, you take care, and as always, say it with me, shine on.